Every interaction you have with your boss is a training session. Yes, you're literally training them how to treat you. When you immediately reply to their 10 p.m. email, you're training them that you're always on call. When they dump last minute work on you and you say no problem, you're training them that poor planning has no consequences. When they criticize you unfairly and you smile through it, you're training them that disrespect is acceptable. See, I learned this the hard way in my career by making all three mistakes with the same boss. Early in my career, I had this boss who burned our team out constantly, like requests, messages on late nights, weekends, all times of the week. He nitpicked every detail, the color of a slide. He wouldn't like a single word in an email, and he would let you know about it. And he gave harsh feedback constantly. Like the worst moment I remember came when I got a Slack message from him saying, John, what the F did you tell that candidate in her interview? She's not sure if she wants to work here because you told her your team works overtime. He was furious. But the thing is, I wasn't wrong. We did work overtime often. I was just telling this candidate the truth because I wanted her to join our company for the right reasons. Still, back then I wrote back, hey, I'm sorry about that. It won't happen again. Because I didn't feel safe to even disagree. That night, I showed my wife the message, and I was expecting sympathy from her. After all, I had definitely 受委屈了, right? But she turned to me with puzzled eyes, and she was like, John, why did you apologize for telling the truth? And I didn't have an answer. Every sorry that I gave him wasn't about professionalism. It was about fear. Every time that I tried to spare his feelings, I was training him that my own feelings didn't matter. So I ended up untraining him. I told him that I wouldn't work or reply on weekends. I pushed back on scope changes and asked why expectations weren't clear from the start. I defended my work when I disagreed. I stood up to harsh criticism that I felt was unfair. And like with any change, I got some pushback. The first time that I stood up for myself, I remember my manager and I got into this big argument. The first time that he heard me speak back, he gave me this look like he couldn't believe that someone would speak back to him. And then he started defending himself. But after that argument, I never got another disrespectful comment from him ever again. See, he did not respect me less for standing up to him. He respected me more. And boundaries are not selfish. They're your manual for how others should treat you. But for your manager to actually follow that manual, it has to be written in their language, right? And that starts with understanding them. So meet the manager matrix. It's a simple way to decode your boss's behavior. It is inspired by the classic Blake and Mouton leadership grid, which is a foundational piece of research from the 1960s by a workplace psychologist and a workplace expert. But I've adapted it for today's modern workplace, and specifically for Chinese employees learning to manage up, not for managers learning to manage down, which the original model was for. I developed the Manager Matrix a couple years ago as the core of a key managing up module in my 90-day career accelerator program, which to date, well over 50 Chinese professionals have already used it to navigate their relationships with complex managers. So the core idea of this matrix is that every manager style can be understood through two dimensions: their assertiveness and their structure. Assertiveness is how strongly a manager drives directions and decisions. In other words, it's their need for control. Highly assertive managers make the calls, and low assertive ones prefer consensus. Structure is how much they rely on systems, details, routines, their need for order. High structure managers love process and plans. Low structure managers rely on flexibility and intuition. So when you combine these two dimensions of assertiveness and structure on a 2x2, you get 4 types of managers. And I'm just going to describe it for you so you can kind of see this play out in your mind's eye. So you've got structure on one dimension of the 2x2, and then you've got assertiveness. In the top left corner, high assertiveness, low structure is the visionary. In the high structure and high vision, in the high structure and high assertiveness quadrant is the micromanager. In the high structure and low assertiveness quadrant is the team builder, and in the low structure and low assertiveness quadrant is the hands-off pleaser. If you are not a visual person, I apologize. I actually write a newsletter, also called Day Up, and if you want to see this chart, I covered it in my last newsletter. You can subscribe and you can take a look at the chart for yourself. So the point I want to get into here is, which type is your manager? We're going to dive deeper into each one. We're going to start with a micromanager who is high assertiveness, high structure. Common behaviors that identify micromanagers. The first one, they will constantly check in on progress and request frequent updates from you. The second one, they will constantly rewrite your work and insist that you fit their standards. Thirdly, they often respond poorly to surprises, even the positive ones sometimes. At the core of their behavior is a motivation, which is control. Their behavior usually isn't personal. It's not intended to harm you. They don't dislike you in particular, usually. It's a reflection of their core belief that if they can control everything around them, including you, then they will be safe, which is a really hard thing to do, right? So what do you do when you meet a micromanager? Well, there are 3 things that you need to do and 3 things that you do not do. Do proactively update them before they ask. Do stay reliable. Like, if you say you're going to do something, do it, and do it on time. Ask for feedback early. It saves rework later. Do not deliver your work your way without aligning on the objectives first. If they see that you wasted time going in a direction that they don't want, they're not going to be happy. I'm speaking from personal experience here. Do not hide mistakes. It's the quickest way to lose trust with your micromanagers. And do not disappear for long stretches without updates. All right, that's the micromanager. Now, let's talk about the visionary. High assertiveness, low structure. Common behaviors of the visionary: they often have big ideas and share really bold visions, but they leave the execution details unclear, and they kind of expect you to follow through on those. They will change direction suddenly, like new priorities, new goals every week, and they expect fast action. They can easily get frustrated by detailed discussions, hesitation, or roadblocks. At the core of the visionary's behavior is the motivation of recognition. They want their ideas and themselves to matter and to be appreciated. I'm going to put on my psychotherapist hat here, although I am not licensed. I'm going to say that to visionaries, to them, they have a need to achieve in order to earn love. So 3 things to do and not do. Do bring structure, like summarize their vision into clear next steps. Do bring solutions, not problems, because problems frustrate them. Do show support through genuine appreciation, agreement, and excitement for their ideas. If they think that you're a cheerleader and you're on their side, they will trust you with more work. Do not drown them in details, because they'll start to tune you out. Do not threaten their vision, because questioning and arguing with them can be seen as a personal attack. Remember, their drive for achievement comes from a more deeper need. Do not wait for step-by-step guidance, because it won't come. They're not very structured. Okay, so third, we're going to cover the team builder. They are low assertiveness and high structure. Common behaviors of the team builder. The team builder invites feedback and collaboration before making decisions. They schedule regular check-ins as a way to build both the relationship and the alignment, because they care about both people and processes. And on the topic of processes, they follow clear processes and expect their team to do the same. At the core of the team builder's motivation is harmony. They measure success as a collective team effort, not any one individual's effort. And they really do balance both people and results. So, 3 things to do with them: communicate regularly and proactively, support their structure, use their templates and routines, show that you're adopting those, and do build the team up, like share templates, help teammates upskill, all that good stuff. Do not dismiss their processes as bureaucracy. It's very meaningful to them. Do not surprise them, because that breaks their sense of stability. And do not go silent, because they will assume that something's wrong. All right, now we're on to the 4th and final manager type. And I have a confession to make. Early in my career, I was this type of manager. I learned to get out of it, but not before I made some mistakes. That is the hands-off pleaser. Low assertiveness, low structure. Doesn't sound very good, does it? Common behaviors avoids tough conversations and delays feedback until problems grow. They will often praise you frequently, but give little actionable input or accountability. And they would rather leave priorities unclear and let them drift than seem demanding or offend you. At the core of the hands-off pleasers' motivation is belonging. Their desire to be liked and to avoid conflict drives them to prioritize team satisfaction over nearly everything else. 3 things to do with them. Do clarify yourself, the expectations that they want. For example, you can ask, what does success look like for you here? And if they struggle to respond, don't worry, that's partially the lack of structure speaking, but keep pushing them on that, gently, of course. On the topic of gentleness, be gentle, but direct in your communication. And do offer structure to show your initiative and leadership. 3 things to not do. Do not mistake their kindness for leadership. Do not fail to deliver, because they will lose trust. And even worse, sometimes they won't even tell you. At least not until it's too late. And do not push them into conflict or pressure, because they do not like it. I want to end off these 4 types with some caveats, right? As usual, there are always exceptions. Firstly, I want to say that no one type of manager is best. A micromanager could be essential when a team or a company is in crisis mode. A visionary could be incredibly valuable when a company needs innovation. Or a hands-off pleaser could be incredible for developing psychological safety in a team that has been demoralized. But most employees thrive best under the team builder, who is both balanced and supportive. Another note I want to make about people in general. No one fits neatly into one box, right? Nobody likes to be labeled. People shift their styles under pressure, and people change. So I want to encourage you to use this manager matrix that I've introduced as a map to the destination you want to go to with your manager, not as a label, not as a definitive personality trait. Once you start seeing your manager through this lens, everything changes. You stop taking their behavior personally, and you start understanding their motivations. And I hope that the moment you do, you can train your manager gently and consistently to treat you with the respect, clarity, and trust that you deserve. All right, that was a heavy one. Lots of content there. So why don't we have a bit of fun? It's melon break time. It's time to 吃瓜. So on this episode of Melon Break, we're going to talk about Trick or Treat, K-pop demon hunters coming to a door near you. This Halloween, if you're giving out candy, you should expect to see a ton of little girls and some little boys dressed as K-pop stars. If you're a parent, you already know where this is going. For everyone else, let me explain. K-pop Demon Hunters is a blowout 2025 hit from Netflix, and it is literally taking over the planet. In case you missed it, I can give you a quick intro. So this movie follows an idol trio called Hunter X, Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, who by day are K-pop stars. Like they're performing for their incredible fan base who loves them. And by night, they're demon hunters. Like they kill demons. Yeah, it's a wild combo of K-pop culture, anime, Riz-filled romance, and supernatural thrills. In case you are not sure what Riz means, that is a Gen Z, Gen Alpha slang for style, charm, attractiveness, short for charisma. So you might say that the boy band, who are actually the demons in this movie, have tons of Riz because fans love them. It's part of the appeal of the show, of this movie. So really, by capturing audiences of all ages, from children to teens, even adults, Demon Hunters has become Netflix's most watched original film ever. It's got over 236 million views worldwide, and it's also the only movie to ever have 4 tracks trending in the top 10 songs on Billboard worldwide. So, how are you going to use this at work when you're chatting with your coworkers? Well, you can say, hey, did you notice how K-pop Demon Hunters costumes are everywhere this year? That movie really blew up, didn't it? Or with your boss, you can say, I'm amazed at how K-pop Demon Hunters combined K-pop, anime, and fantasy culture together to go global. It's a really interesting case study in cross-culture media. Day Up is written, produced, and hosted with love by me, Jonathan Lee. If you want to support high-quality, free podcasting for Chinese professionals, please like and review this podcast. It would mean so much to hear from you. That's all for today. 下次再见，职场小伙伴们。